Hey guys, Grass here. Just doing a vid on my Crusader that I just recently built for Seasons, and just to highlight the build that I have. There's nothing spectacular about the actual gear I have, but it's to emphasize that with low end gear you can absolutely own T6, especially like normal riffs with this particular build. Now, it is obviously probably the most popular. It's the Phalanx Stampede build where you have, instead of, the two horses, thanks for this, this shield, you get four horses, which has a chance to stun. So I'll just go through the gear and then I'll show you a demonstration of, how powerful this can be with pretty much low end gear. Now, I was lucky enough yesterday just to get the furnace drop, but I was using this with let me just go here in my inventory. I was using this Maximus, and in fact, using this Maximus was still effective, even though it wasn't that good. An alternative to the furnace is the Heart Slaughter. That gives you a percent physical on there because this build is based on, again, the Stampede skill set, and this is procced by physical. So pretty much anything that you want is physical. So if you actually look at my Khan set, which is the 5-piece with the raw ring, my Khan set is not really that good. So if you look at my gloves, I've got, vitality, which I would rather cooldown reduction. And, you know, I don't really need gold find on my actual gear, but hey, it adds to getting the reduced cooldowns for the abilities when I'm in accurate champion mode. Same thing with shoulders. Again, not that good. Instead of reduce or resource cost, I would like cooldown reduction. Probably one of the worst items that I have is this Leorix. In fact, I was using one that was kind of a hand-me-down from my Demon Hunter. So I'll just close this so that you guys don't get confused. But again, I would like, instead of the life percent, like crit damage. No, crit hit chance, because you can't get crit damage. And obviously the most important is that 78% is probably, obviously 100%. So that means I get more, cooldown reduction. Obviously the theme here is the cooldown reduction. The chest, well, instead of armor, I would prefer, all resist. That would be definitely better because I'm already an armor class as a Crusader. The belt, well, I'm quite happy with that. I think the only thing that could potentially be improved is obviously higher, strength, but that life percent to be, all resist, something like that. But it does have the cooldown reduction, so 8%. That's really good. Um, you don't really need something like, you know, uh, I'll show you the Witching Hour, because attack speed is not as important in this build, because the more attack speed you have, the quicker you use your main skill, and then you use more Wrath, which is just not good. The pants is probably one of the best items that I have from the Akan set. Again, it's the secondary stats that let this particular pants down. You want a resist on there. Now, the boots, again, pretty much the concept are the first drops that I've got. It's not like the second or third. I was lucky when I was Kadala gambling. I got both of them at the same time, but I valued this one probably being much better than, say, that one in regards to re-rolling. So with the boots, I don't need movement speed. I could use that in Paragon points, but hey, once I get better boots, all I can do is improve. Um, Again, the shield, which is absolutely essential because of the secondary special ability that now it casts twice. That's, I would like to have cooldown reduction. I would like crit damage on there. I would like Vite, things like that. Um, The Royal Ring of Grandeur, you probably want cooldown if you want, if you need, somewhere there. And again, I'm just using this ring, which eventually I'm probably going to use something like a Stone of Jordan, not even a Unity, but a Stone of Jordan with like a physical rather than obviously fire or something like that, and the socket. And obviously my weapon, the furnace, I think this was really good. I haven't re-rolled anything yet because I want to see if I need vitality. If I don't, I'll do like damage percent, or alternatively, I will change the 1292 and 1576 fire damage and try to re-roll that to get more to the 1788, and that will boost the damage that I have. Again, I'm quite happy with the elite damage of 47%. Obviously you can always ask for more for like 50%, but again, that's what makes the furnace absolutely strong. And because it's a two-hander, it's great because attack speed is what you're looking for. You're looking for low attack speed so that you're not spamming the stampede and using all your RAF. The gloves, I was going to say, the braces, basically this was a hand-me-down from the Demon Hunter. As you can see, I re-rolled the primary stat from Dex to Strength, and again I would like to have the Slave Bonds just because these are going to be, you get the extra primary stat, so you get 5 stats. So I don't need movement speed, but I would like something like that, but instead of the movement speed, vitality, and maybe the secondary with a resist or something. Now the amulet, again, you got to do with what you got. It's not the best. It's got holy. I need physical. I would need cooldown, and again, the reason why I'm using this is because it's got cooldown, but eventually I will be looking at Hellfire amulet, and I'll just tell you when I go into the skills what we're looking at. Now, what you want is you want the Go-Gut of Swiftness gem. The reason being is because I need to hit about 60% cooldown reduction, and when I get the 15% stack of the cooldown reduction, I get about 59%, which allows me to have accurate champion up pretty much the whole time. Bane of the Trapper, basically that procs because you're stunning and so on like that, and you get like a reduced movement speed and so on like that. So it's a damage booster basically, and also the pain enhancer is another damage booster. So they're the gems I use. I think they're pretty much standard of what you would do with this particular build. So let's look at the skills. Now Stampede is basically the whole build, obviously. So you can't substitute that. You would use charge up to renew your Wrath when it's running low, and again when you have cooldown reduction, you're pretty much getting that up all the time. Iron Skin is basically to keep yourself, and Steel Skin obviously is to keep yourself alive, and you only proc that when you're getting to a point where you're almost about to die. This does have a 30-second cooldown, and even with your cooldown reductions, it's probably something that you will still need to be wary about when you press this button and allow it. Steed Charge Endurance, basically it is to move quite quickly around everything and get to your destination quite quickly. Laws of Valor, this one's pretty much important. Unstoppable Force, it allows the 15% obviously increased attack speed, but more in regards to the rough cost. So it makes Stampede more spammable because you're using 50% less cost. And obviously you always want to be in an accurate champion mode. So in this one it's Prophet, and that's just because of defensive stats. You gain 150% additional armor. You're wielding a two-hander, so you need a two-hander and a shield. So even whether you use a Furnace, the Heart Slaughter as mentioned before, or even the Maximus, you need to have this on as a passive. Holy Curse, basically it's a damage multiplier. Lord Commander is basically for the movement of steed charge endurance, so that you can run a little bit longer and so on like that, because obviously the cooldown and so on. Finery, obviously that's a damage booster. Now, an alternative, if you have a Hellfire amulet, what you probably want to get is the increased duration of laws. So whether you get a awesome Hellfire amulet and you have one of these, the alternative is probably this, okay, as a passive. It's because this ability, the Law of Valor, allows you to kind of spam the Wrath. So it's probably the next best passive that you would need to use. Okay, and so the last thing is, before I show an actual demonstration, is Paragon points. So obviously you want to be putting your Paragon points into movement speed, so you have 25% first, and then obviously try to get your Wrath. It is important to get this quite up, as opposed to say strength or vitality, just because you're going to be using it, and you'll see it in the demonstration. And then you can choose whichever one you need. If you're dying a lot, use vitality. If you can sacrifice vitality, use strength. Now, with this, obviously the primary one that you want to look at is cooldown reduction, because I need it. Because my build is not the best. But and when I say my build's not the best, the gear is just starting, and I'm going to show you how strong this build is with the gear that I have. And I classify this gear as pretty much quite entry level, because I just started with it. With the exemption of the furnace, I think that's probably like a little bit a step ahead. Now, it's up to you, you know, which one you're going to use. If you need more crit hit chance, then put crit hit chance. If you need crit hit damage, then put crit hit damage. Again, you just look at here, and you need probably like a 1-to-10 ratio between them. So if for example, I've got 400, so you know I need 40. So 40, these 10% of 400. Yay, mathematics, great, awesome. So over here, you obviously want the all resist because you're an armor class. Now, I'm not sure how valuable armor percentage is going to be with a Crusader, just because you are an armor class, but it will stack up. I value probably life a little bit more, just because I do have a bit of vitality, in the sense of, if my furnace has 1,000 vitality, this will stack up quite well. So I'm working towards life percent, and then life regeneration, and then armor. I might be wrong there. Just work with what's going to be best for you in your toughness. And then here I value things like resource cost reduction, so that these obviously this costs less. If it costs less, that means I'm using less Wrath. Obviously the most useless one is gold find, and then you can kind of choose between whether you go with area damage, excuse me. But I prefer life on hit, because I'm really using a lot of attacks. So basically, one crucial point of knowing in using this build is not just to spam basically Stampede. It is to try to get your Go-Gurt of Swiftness, and again it's only rank 25, which gives me the 27, which gives me the ability of the second skill, which is gain 1% cooldown. The Go-Gurt of Swiftness gem works in the sense of it's a snapshot, and what that means is, when you click on the one of your skills, whether it's Accurate Champion or Laws of Valor, Unstoppable Force, it's based on whatever stack it is at that time. It's not when, say, you're using it and you're going to use it in the last second or so on like that. It won't work on that. It basically is a kind of timestamp on when you actually press the button. So you need to be crucial when you're actually pressing these buttons that you're on stack 15. I mean, it's not the biggest thing if your build's really good, but for me, it's sometimes I need to do it. So, guys, sorry about taking a little bit long, but I wanted to highlight a little bit of things, because there's different people on different levels, and just to show you that you don't really need much to make this build work that well. And considering there's a lot of things that I'm missing out of this build, it's just going to highlight even more how great this build is, particularly for a crusader or someone that is trying to become a effective crusader. So let's go to, I don't know, let's go Act 1, Fields of Misery, right? So I'm not going to go for, I could go for the Warden, but I need to get my stack up. So here's a great example. Just look at my Wrath happen. I've got the 15 stacks. I'm going to just pop everything and just everything mows down. It's probably now good to see this in demonstration. Look how good it is to take this guy out. He's quite strong, and because I've got all my abilities up, look at that, like he just mowed down, you know. And again, it's all about making sure 15 stacks, see how that I'm doing that. You've got to be monitoring what you're doing, otherwise you're going to end up, for example, if I'm not on 15 stacks, I'm going to run out of Wrath, and then that's going to take time, and time is everything, especially when you're doing rifts and so on like that. But this just mows down everything. I was actually playing in a public game and I just absolutely own in it, and I'm not trying to brag on, I'm just showing you, I'm just talking about how effective this build is. So guys, if you liked my vid, again, there is people that are quite experts and they've got, like, you know, the build, you know, almost perfect and so on. I'm a casual gamer and I just try to get as much information and try to do a broader audience, because there's some people that are still trying to start doing, you know, these builds, and they want to kind of know all that information. So hopefully this guide helped you out on kind of what you need to get for a Crusader. It is an interesting build. Give it a go. It's quite fun as well. And yeah, if you thought this vid was good, just, you know, give us a like. It really helps us out. I'm starting and so on like that. And you know, subscribe if you want to, you know, no pressure. And if you have any questions, just put a comment down. Alternatively, I would like, you know, you guys to write what class you're playing, so if you can put that in the comment section, that would be nice. Also, I am kind of looking at online streaming as well, guys. So my connection in Australia is not that good. I've got cable internet, and it's quite bad in regards to upload speed. Unfortunately, Australia, we still got kangaroos and wombats and crocodiles, you know, in our back garden, and you know, we can't really have the best internet speeds at the moment. So I'm trying to work out on it. It's probably looking at more something like Hitbox rather than Twitch TV, just because there is more latency on Twitch for people that are starting. So if you look at my YouTube channel, I've already got Hitbox good to go, and I might start streaming and see, you know, if I get latency or anything like that. But I would like to be playing with a few of you guys. So yeah, I know the video went a little bit longer, but I just kind of wanted to show you where I'm going with obviously the channel and so on like that. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And guys, just really have a great day. Grass over and out. Cheers, mate.